Hey, before I kick off the podcast, I just want to shout out Next Door Clothing. Next Door, a clothing brand based out of Bondi in Sydney. They're making really nice jeans and shirts and hats. So go and check out their full range at nextdoorsydney.com. They're also artists, so you can go and check out a range of art. They put on rad parties, and I love what they're doing. So nextdoorsydney.com for the full range.
This is what we all about. We cruising, straight cruising. We going through, way through to the weekend. We freaking, it's neatin'. You know, me and Shannon, we peeping.
Dude, what a treat this is, man. What a treat this is as I sit here in my beetroot Indosoles. Is that what they're called? Beetroot?
Yeah, beetroot.
What is that actually like? Or are you going to steal that idea off me? Or?
How much do you want for it?
The Just Beat It edition.
Dude, I think they remind me of beetroots.
Beetroot could overrule Burgundy here pretty soon.
Dude, let's do it. But just credit me, okay?
Pro model.
Let's get started. This is for Clement Otis. All right, so head over to crushorganics.com. That's KRUSHORGANICS.com and grab yourself some of the best CBD oils and topicals on the market. CBD has helped me so much with recovery from inflammation post-workout, or if I've been surfing and my muscles are super tired, it really helps with recovery from that. It's really helped me establish healthy sleeping patterns and also like a noticeable reduction in feelings of anxiety. So when you go over to crushorganics.com, use code THT at checkout and get that epic 40% discount. And a huge thanks to everyone that's using that code regularly now, and it's supporting the show indirectly, and hopefully it's improving your health and well-being. And while you're at it, click over to Indosole.com, that's INDOSOLE.com, and get yourself some sandals made from repurposed motor vehicle tyres. If you're in North America, like, it's time to get your pair for summer. You know, the weather's getting warmer, you need those new flip-flops. So use code THT for that 15% off, and fast shipping worldwide. Kai, what are you doing over there? You're making hand signals at someone? Sign language. All right, let's go. Terrible happy talks. Terrible happy talks.
Yeah. Good to be here, man. Whoa. Good on purpose. Submissive donut lights up. 3, 2, 1. All right, do this.
Oh, dudes, air guitaring. Give me a break. Let's go. Now, you're the first people to air guitar to that intro, I think.
Well, we're recording our first album here with these headphones on. I feel like we're in the studio.
Dude, it's right. So, here we go. Today's guests are Kyle Parsons and Kai Paul. Kyle is the founder and Kai, president of Indosole. And these guys have been repurposing motor vehicle tyres since 2009. And they've also been supporting this podcast since episode 30. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your love. You believed in me. Kai did anyway. Do you believe in me?
Absolutely.
This week, the guys are with me live and on location at Indosole headquarters in Canggu, Bali, to check in, share journey, experiences, challenges, and hopes for the future. Mr. Kyle Parsons and Kai Paul, welcome.
Thanks, Shannon.
Dudes.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, talk to me. I'm going to ask you first, Kyle. What was the flight from San Francisco to Bali like? Give everyone a breakdown. I heard it's a real big mission to get to Indonesia from there.
Yeah, I haven't been in 2 years, which it was a long haul. So happy to be back. First of all,
hold on real quick. It was 800 days, not 2 years.
Oh, who's counting?
Yeah.
Have you been counting days?
2 plus. It's 800 days without a smoothie bowl. As the way I put it the other day, which is a long-ass time, and a fresh coconut. Nice. But yeah, the flight, a lot of things have changed. I mean, some airlines don't even service that old route that they used to. It used to be a hop, skip, and a jump, really, even though it was a long flight, but $750, stop in Taiwan and continue on. Since the war started, the plane tickets went through the roof. It's like $2,000.
Yeah.
So, kind of finagled my way over here with some frequent flyer miles, and by way of Singapore, and a couple airlines later, here I am.
Those challenges you mentioned, like as a businessman, how has it impacted on your ability to function in the way you were prior to lockdowns?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think Indosole is a testament to, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger kind of mentality and kind of surviving the pandemic times and just keeping the faith and the dream alive. We had to restructure a bunch of things and change up just the way we worked and reorganize. With Bali being closed, we needed to really turn towards the World Wide Web and hustle in a different way. But, it really helped us see the light in a variety of different ways and just exploring new distribution channels, different avenues of getting our story out there. For example, being on your podcast and just taking alternative routes. But now that Bali's open, we're super stoked to have the shop flowing and being back in the mix.
Were there some dark days for you though?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We were, from the U.S. side of things, we were selling to some major retailers, and it was just overnight, just turn off the switch. We had retailers calling us saying, "Don't ship, don't send us our order." We need to, put things on pause, and us saying, "Oh, well, we have 2,000 pairs of sandals ready to ship you right now. What are we supposed to do with them?" They're like, "I don't know. You figure it out." So,
Wow.
we had to shift and okay, we're going to sell these puppies online. And that was great because then, the web business started lighting up and,
Great.
We sold every pair. But now we're kind of reshifting back into the normal ways of 2019. But taking all that we learned, through those times and applying it now in different ways and just running the company is super lean and as organized as possible.
So differently?
Yeah,
Definitely differently?
Definitely differently. I think conservatively, where we're, Kai and I are, we're wearing a lot of different hats. Everyone on our team is pivoting into different directions. So we're 14 people strong, but we feel like we're doing the work of probably 24 people.
Yeah, wow.
But it's positive. You know what I mean? We're servicing our international partners. We're trying to get them what they need and keep their business healthy. Of course, working on the web deal, getting the story out there, and then, expanding our retail locations.
Yep. What about you, Kai? You've been holding it down in Bali for the last few years through those darker times. And then when I turned up this morning, you said, "Dude, you wouldn't believe it. Yesterday we had our best retail day ever." Ever? Since this store's been here?
Yeah, recently this last month has been a revelation. People coming back to Bali, and I think that some of these brands, us being one of them, but there's some of these restaurant brands. People have been watching Bali and been curious about Bali from afar the last couple of years. So when they have come back, I think that they've kind of from afar shown respect or want to be a part of it, want to be a part of Bali. And for us, we're just really proud to have made it through some dark times, kept the shop open, kept our staff employed, and we've really grown stronger. We've got a great family team here in Bali, and I think that maybe you can see that or feel that from afar. And so I think the people that have stuck around here in Bali are really going to be a strong foothold moving forward here in Bali. And I think, humbly we've been able to stay open. And I think we've got a good opportunity to be a staple here in Bali moving forward. And I think that the last month has been kind of a testament, and we've been able to really strive.
For sure, man. Describe this this location. So this is the original location of the brand?
No.
Okay, well, give us some history there.
This shop has been around for almost 4 years now. It will be 4 years in August. And this is our first flagship store. Actually, it's not our second. Not our first. It's our second. I'll let Kyle talk about the origins of the location of the brand. And actually, we did have a store in San Francisco previously before this one.
Did you? Yeah. So what was the... Yeah, let's go, Kyle. I want to hear it. Go.
Yeah, I mean, turning back the clock to 2014 or so, we got this really cool vibey. It was an old church, and basically it was a Korean church in San Francisco, up by the beach, up by Ocean Beach. and we got the lease on that, and then rebranded it as the Church of Surf. So it kind of segued from a Korean church on Sundays into, this like multi-dimensional office and retail place that just housed these hoodlums from SF, and we shared it with this cool brand from San Francisco called San Francisco, and they had a vibe, in the city, and they're super good community and community builders, and together we teamed up and we took this spot, and it really helped, Indosole in getting the story out there and in developing community in California, as a hybrid brand between California and Bali, both are very influential places. And what you find now is everywhere you go, people know about Bali, or there's a mystery about Bali. They're super interested to know about Indonesia and about Bali and what's happening over there. So it was a really nice crossover. And we had a great experience there, and then moving on, what we did was kind of tighten up and decide to shift our investment thereafter over to this spot. And it was a funny story, one day as we are here in Canggu, our Indosole house where Kai lives is directly behind the shop. Maybe I shouldn't say that too loud, but
Dude.
now you
Come
know.
by.
Door's always open.
Ladies, if you're out there.
Anybody, come on.
And Kai did a great job of building the relationship with the landowner who also owns this rice field and, this property we're sitting on right now. But we're walking down the gong or the driveway one day, and we see these guys digging a hole with a shovel. We're like, it's like shoveling some dirt. And we're like, what are you guys doing here? What are you guys digging? They're like, oh, we're making a building. We're building a building. We're like, oh, huh, that's interesting. So one thing leads to another. Kai contacts the landlord.
You could see the potential.
Yeah.
Like, I want to ask, I don't care who answers this, like, how many years ago was that?
About 5.
5.
Yeah.
How has Canggu changed then, since then?
That was like right as it was just like really exploding. And we could see it exploding. There was a lot of cool vibes, a lot of, interesting things happening. The Slow, friends of ours, were opening up the hotel in the works, and then they were going to have a gallery space and a shop space next door. So things were really bubbling. Old Man's was, killing it. The Lawn was killing it. People were moving here. Obviously, there's a great wave out front. There's 2 different types of waves, right? There's actually a few different types of waves, but there's more advanced and there's for beginners. So it's kind of a perfect place for a multi-level approach of surfing, and there's just really great cafes. The vegetarian and vegan thing was growing as well, so it was bubbling, right? And then it started getting a lot of interesting press, right? Condé Nast, New York Times had Brooklyn by the beach, and that was about 5 years ago. Right. So we just thought it was a good move to start this new chapter in Indosole where we have our own flagship store and where people can come and learn about us further. We can have community events and have our full product displayed.
I noticed there's a couple of other retail outlets now in the same complex. Can you tell us what they are? Because it's pretty exciting, I think.
Yeah. This building. So we decided we were starting at the start. We just were going to take a shop. But then it sort of evolved. We took the whole building and we curated it with like-minded people. And right now we've got Smoke Bali, all smoke barbecue.
Sick.
Next to us, run by a good friend of ours. And then to the other side, we've got Rostar. It's called Sound Vision Library. Rostar is an amazing artist from Brooklyn, right there at the top level of art, really, in the world.
His murals are...
Yeah, he's amazing. And his wife, Magali, makes amazing ceramics. So they partnered, and Rostar is really into making merchandise as well. He makes amazing things. So he's not only an artist, he's also had brands before and collaborated with brands. He's collaborated with Nike. And we're fortunate enough to be collaborating with him soon, so we'll be releasing that in the next year. So he's next door, and then on the last stall is now Onboard Surf Stop. So Echo Beach being such a performance wave, they will have more of their performance boards here, and then I'm about to belong sort of
The
more fit
longboards.
to Batu Belong.
Yeah, and
so.
they predominantly do Channel Islands, Almeric, stuff like that.
Yeah, they've got Christensen, they've got Sharp Eye. So they've got a big ordeal or a big production line here of producing boards. So they're ready, set to go. So we're excited to welcome them into the space. And the space is called Echo Quarter. We've got our office upstairs. There's 2 artist studios upstairs. Ricky Lee Gordon was recently in here for 4 months with his studio. Before that, it was Steve Goro. So we've had some great artists in here over the years.
Well, what do you think, like, Canggu is such a melting pot of creatives? Like, it seems like it just draws them in. And it's inspiration. And it also draws in, influences and some very interesting characters. But why do people love it? What is it about this place? I know I do. I just come here and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it has
What do you
this
think?
contagious draw to it. There's something in the air, really, that's just like, leads you to Canggu. My first experience in Canggu was 07 or 08 or so.
Yeah.
And I went surfing out at the point here, and I didn't know how to surf. I was just out there, just like bobbing around, looking like a wounded seal. But I'm sitting out there, just me and one other guy, and then Jordy Smith paddles out, takes a left into a wave, and just absolutely rips it to shreds. And I'm just like, whoa, this is insane.
Isn't it amazing when you see a pro surfer live?
Yeah,
you actually get to really understand how good they are.
It was insane, and it was just the 3 of us. It's like me, this other dude, and Jordy Smith sitting at the point in 08 with, and back in those days in Canggu too, it was very traditional. There's women walking around with no top on, and it was like that. So it's incredible to see how far it's come. But to our early point, it being a melting pot for really interesting people of all walks of life, super cool. Beyond art and music, but also sustainability. I mean, we've had people, former Apple employees walk in here that were, working at Apple in the heyday. Of course, you got Green School, people like yourself that are just into it, or they're informed. So when they walk into Indosole, we're taking, maybe for them a prior life experience or already an interest, and igniting it in a way, and it feels really good to us.
It does. It kind of feels like it's a place where creatives can come and brainstorm new ideas, and then maybe go back to their countries and then put them into action. That's how it feels to me. It's like and some people get it right and some people don't. But I'm really curious about, like, the concept of Indosole is I think it's enchanting. It's like, oh wow, they got a motor vehicle and they turned it into this really stylish slipper, and they are stylish. Like, I think they look sick. I wear them. But do you feel a pressure from people then that you are now like the experts in sustainability, and there's an expectation that you're going to have all the answers about the future of sustainability? Do you get that? No.
I mean, yes and no.
Guys, sometimes.
We're here to educate people as much as we can about the problem that we're just want to be a part of. We're just one element of in helping to try to solve one of many environmental issues that are out there. But there's so many different little parts of Indosole that I think that grab people, whether it's the style and you just walk in and like, those slides look dope, I need a pair of those. Yeah. Or you want to, you're here for the recycled tire sole, or perhaps you're a vegan and you're into, no leather in your sandals. So it's just those different touch points that we feel that we can, provide, or we aim to provide.
Dude, really quick, go back to how you came up with the original concept. That story, I love it. Just tell it again. You're in Bali on a holiday. Yeah,
my dad had been coming to Bali since 1982, and probably staying in Kuta, where, most expats would, it was dirt roads back in the day. And so I grew up with a curiosity about Bali. I grew up in the U.S., but I always wanted to go. I wanted that experience. I knew I would like it, and just what I had. So when I got here on a family trip, I was just blown away. It's just, wow, this is cool. Everything from the food and the culture and the art and a barong mask or whatever, the things are that grab you, that are interesting about Bali, captivated me. along the way, I was walking down the street in Seminyak, and my sandals at the time broke. The thong pulled out, and standing on the side, you had a blowout.
In Australia, we call it. We say that's when you plug your pluggers blow out. It's a big issue.
For sure. I had a blowout on the streets of Seminyak, and the streets are dirty. So I'm sitting there, I'm barefoot. I'm like, I need a solution. What am I going to do here? I got to figure this out. So I just popped into a boutique, and I found this kind of vibey, cool pair of sandals that had a natural grass weave on top, and that's what I was looking for. I was like, oh, I want something that's very Bali. I wasn't going to buy a pair of Havaianas, no offense, or any other brand. I wanted something soulful, right? When I flipped it over, it had a tire on the sole, it was a motorbike tire.
Sick.
Look out the window, thousands of motorbikes flying by, made the connection. It's like, okay, wow, this is so resourceful, so cool that Balinese people, use these motorbike tires and made it. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But on the other hand, I was like, whoa, these things are like 3 inches thick. They don't look comfortable. These things are like paperweights, but I'm going to try to wear them anyways. I did. Yeah. They cut me to shreds on my feet, but it was just like the concept was like, this is so cool. What if there was a brand based around this? And then I brought, my sandals home to California, started showing to all my friends, started doing a little bit of research about tire pollution. Found that tire pollution is actually a problem. Tires never decompose. Technically, the first tire is out there somewhere.
Really? I've never heard that stat before. The first tire is technically out there somewhere. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, Charles Goodyear in the 1850s. That's probably out there somewhere.
That's so crazy, right?
Yeah, like it could be buried in Chuck's backyard or like what, it's out there somewhere. But they're made so strong and so well that, they don't break down, but they are good for so many things. Like tires are awesome. Tires are a great sole for sandals. And, we didn't come up with the idea, and really, the Balinese did. They have been doing this for centuries, but so have the Mexicans, so have, in India and Africa. And as long as tires have been around, they've been made into footwear.
Yeah, isn't it funny how necessity often becomes the birth of creativity? I don't know if that's the exact saying, but it's so, I feel like...
Innovate or die kind of thing.
Yeah, innovate or die. And I feel like we come from privileged backgrounds, really, and we maybe take these things for granted. And it's I think we have a lot to learn, so, and you obviously did.
Yeah. I mean, behind every brand, there's great people, and there's a bit of luck. And for us, it's been sheer determination and passion. We bleed with passion with this brand, and it's been a roller coaster ride. I'm so fortunate to meet Kai at a trade show in California, him being from Indo, because without someone like Kai being on the inside and speaking the language, I didn't have a clue. I couldn't speak the language. I was just fumbling around Bali. I knew I wanted to do this. I had this dream, but there were so many parts. There's so many moving parts and things I had to pull together in order to get there. So things just sort of escalated in that way, and we're so fortunate to meet great people that helped us along the journey.
I've always wondered how you two met. So Kai, you were at let me guess, was it the ASR trade show?
It was like a derivative of that sort of. It was called the WWSRA trade show, which is like a regional show. I think it was in Reno, outside of Tahoe. We were both snowboarding that winter. I was with a brand called Power Balance. I was run the action sports side of things for them, and then Kyle was working for Ray-Ban, PAL gloves, Burn helmets, and we had to meet because we were back to back, and I had to ask Kyle if I could hang my poster or on his side of the thing. And then when I went over there and I saw this, I think it was 2009, I saw he was first time displaying Indosole, and it said Indo on it, and I was like, what is that? And then he told me the story about Tyres and what he's doing in Indonesia, and I was just like, man, because at that point I'd been away from Indonesia for 11 years in terms of living. I had been back about 6 months at a point, but I'd been in the U.S. there for 11 years, and I just I just missed it. I've always been drawn to this place. I was born here, so and I just wanted to be a part of it. And Kyle fortunately let me be a part of it. I invested a little bit of money and became partner, and that was a little over 11 years ago, I'd say.
So right.
Yeah.
Is it just like this feeling of this is going to work no matter what because we actually really love it? Is that how it is? How some entrepreneurs and they get an idea and it's like, well, you know what, like I've tried it, maybe it's not that viable anymore. But for you guys, it's more than just the concept of making it profitable, which obviously is a practical, rationale. You have to, but it's beyond that, isn't it? Would you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our belief is that if we just follow our passion and we keep doing what we're doing and we follow this mission that we truly believe in, the money part is going to come around eventually.
Yeah.
If we do it the other way around and you say, I want to build a sandal brand that I'm going to sell in 3 years, it's probably not going to work because you're not fully vested in it, emotionally and nothing but financially. So, for us, it's been adapting and changing and developing.
Pivoting.
And also, I think it's a little bit like
persevering.
Can we help to inspire this next movement?
Do you think you are, though?
I think a little bit. I don't. I'm not trying to say this. Like, I've just been told, like, hey, you guys have inspired us to create this brand or this brand or this product, or they ask for, like, how did you make that? And so it's a little bit of that sort of, I guess, a duty, but we like doing it, of helping people figure out how to utilize waste materials, recycled materials, responsibly made products, ethical production. So these types of values can continue forward, and that's really like bigger than Indosole, I think. And I think we all feel that way, that if we're helping that next phase of industrialization, we kind of term it the reindustrialization of manufacturing, of production, of sourcing, of really a business.
From a layperson's perspective, I feel like the sustainability conversation was really big around the world, especially prior to the pandemic. It was really hot. It's a really hot topic, and it has been for years. But I felt like it was a really hot topic. Then the pandemic happened, and I feel like consciousness has been diverted a little bit to, let's look at it. People have just been surviving. So do you feel like the sustainability conversation has fallen down the sort of scale of priorities for many people?
I think during the pandemic, it was all about survival, right? Yeah. And it was like, if I have to, wear rubber gloves and a plastic mask, then so be it, because I don't want to get this damn virus. But on the other hand, the way we look at it now as we start to pull out of it is that the pandemic was actually the greatest promotion for sustainability that there ever has been. It's right. Like, it's basically a giant billboard, and it was a really brutal time. But now here we are as a brand that's been, sustainable the whole time, or, using recycled materials, and there's just that much more material to recycle now. So people are more turned on to it now than they ever have been.
Yeah. I just personally, this is just me speaking completely personally, like I see the masks and the single packaging of these rapid antigen tests, the rats, en masse, and I've had to do them myself, and I just look at like every little part of that test is in its own little plastic bag, and I just get overwhelmed. I'm like, I feel like we're going so backwards in respect to plastic production, and how do you beat that? I don't know, but
there's also been a lot of developments though in the last couple of years.
Give me some. Tell me.
Yeah.
Help me with the optimism.
The plant leather thing is really taken off, as well as mushrooms. And then on the negative side, the shipping and logistics issue that's been going on the last couple of years, where shipping has just been increased astronomically, 6-7 times by a container, and then the delays in shipping as well.
Gotcha.
Have really sparked an idea that we think could be growing worldwide, which is bringing production back to countries in which they're sold. So, for example, instead of outsourcing all of the manufacturing, potentially manufacturing will be moving back to these places where the items are sold.
Yeah.
And
what a concept! Like,
that's the way it used to be, right?
Keep the profits in the country.
Right, and it's also a testament of worldwide minimum wage rising, so it's not as profitable to outsource, and that will only continue to grow as time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, as a business though, like how hard is it to keep those ethics when, you know, you're surviving a pandemic and things are really tight and you need to outsource to survive? Like,
Yeah.
how hard is it to maintain those ethics in business?
Well, it's all a process, and it's progression forward. So keeping your values and your mission in sight, and sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice and lose some battles to win the ultimate war. And that's, I think, what happened with COVID is that was a battle that potentially we had to lose to win the ultimate war in the end, because as Kyle said, there's also been a lot of awakening about how much waste there has been over this time period. It's not that people aren't aware of it, it's just that it has happened.
It's been highlighted, right?
Yeah.
Hey, what's this, man, behind me? So what are you doing here?
Yeah, so
What is this? I'm looking at like a basket full of old flip-flops and shoes and sandals and stuff.
yeah, well, that's an interesting development that's happened over the pandemic during COVID times here in Bali. Is this organization called Sungai Watch. The founders are the Binchagibs, Sam, Gary, and Kelly, and we're really close with that family, and they've done a great job of protecting the waterways here in Bali. So all the trash that gets illegally dumped and ends up in the river will eventually lead to the ocean.
Yeah.
Well, they've made barriers in over 100 rivers in Bali now that will stop this trash from getting to the ocean. Now, when they get that trash and they bring it to their collection facility and separate it, they've found that about 8% of those are sandals, old flip-flops.
8%?
Yeah, which is a large amount, and it adds up to tons and tons of sandals. Yeah. So we've partnered with them, and and Lena Klaus actually made this for us, which is collects all old sandals before they get put into illegal dumping sites. So now we're collecting them. We're also working together with Sungai Watch to process them, and we will be coming out with a new foam made from these recycled sandals here in the coming year. So we're in development phase with them to make a whole new material. And the soles, the rubber soles, we're now recycling into new rubber. So we're expanding beyond tires coming up. This actually will be launching on Saturday the 30th, so maybe right around when this is released, or maybe right before, here at the flagship store in Echo Beach, our new sneaker sole collection, which we're taking we're taking discarded sneaker soles, either defects or thrown away, and we're recycling that white rubber.
Right.
So now we have white soles.
Sick. I noticed some of those on the shelf.
And we're launching an orange sole as well.
So they're made from. So you're repurposing old sneakers.
Yes.
So it's not just tires now.
It's not just tires now. It's our next development in rubber.
So did you guys have to, Kyle, did you have to establish the manufacturing equipment for this? Did you have to make that or design it?
No, I mean, so we've been fortunate to find partners, so, we couldn't have done this on our own, but it was also an evolution of process, right? So what started off as hand cutting tires. So the brand began just finding motorbike tires on the side of the road or in a field, and then bringing this facility where we had Balinese artisans cutting them, them by hand with tools, cutting motorbike tires, trimming them down, and then turning them into the soles. So that process, which was the original, which was a fully organic, handmade, kind of like the old-fashioned way of making footwear, right? Just steadily evolved, and we ran with that for years, and we started to develop interest in the brand, and people still actually ask for that original product, but it was hard to make, and we needed to evolve and we needed to streamline it, or we weren't going to be able to deliver to the masses and thus make a huge environmental impact while doing it. So we streamlined the process, and we started grinding down the tires, and by doing that, we're able to use 100% of the tire now, and we don't have any waste, and it's an extremely efficient process, which turns the tire crumb, into sheets basically, and then presses it, and that's the same process we use for the sneaker sole technology that Kai was talking about. So, taking that same benchmark and reusing other materials that would be bound for the landfill. So, really, when you think about it, it could just keep going and going and going. I mean, there's so much great stuff out there.
That's just...
Yeah, we call that the secondary resource market.
I love that. I love that term.
We're pulling items that would otherwise be going into waste and making them secondary resources.
Yeah, like with Sungai Watch, you mentioned them. I absolutely love what they do, and I read that they make these amazing river barriers catching waste, and they're cleaning the rivers every day. So it's like a full-time job. But it's got these little grates attached to it to catch the smaller particles of waste.
Right.
And I found out that those crates are made from plastic bags, like they've been compressed or manufactured from plastic bags. Is that correct?
Correct. So Sungai Watch is doing a great job of recycling and repurposing into new products.
But I know we're not. I mean, I'm sure Gary could explain this better than you. I don't want to put you on the spot too much, but where I get a bit confused with Sungai Watch, I know that they're cleaning the rivers, they're getting all this waste, they're sorting it, they're doing an audit, which is amazing. They're highlighting the brands that are creating the most waste. But how are they actually redistributing or reusing the trash? Like, that's one thing that's not really clear to me. And I mean, it's great. Have they just got a facility full of organised trash now, or what are they doing with it?
So a large portion of what they get from the rivers is actually organic material.
Yep.
I would say, so they have a huge compost yard now.
Okay.
So they're turning that into compost. That's one. Second, they're sorting by plastic, rubber, and foam.
Right.
And glass. Yeah. They're turning glass into these building blocks. They're turning the plastic into these sheets. Yeah. So they're pressing the plastic now. And so you might have seen on their Instagram, they've made a trash can made from 100% recycled plastic they've got from the river. Right. The foam and the rubbers, we're buying from them.
Sick.
We started buying from them, and this is the thing, is that each one of these materials are called secondary resources. Yeah. So what they've created is essentially the secondary resource market. So a brand like Indosole can go to them and purchase these resources from them and then help them fund their continuation of cleaning the river.
So they're now a commodity.
Now they're a commodity.
Trash is a commodity.
Correct.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, so it's just now starting, really. It's kind of early days.
Yeah, do you think because Bali is such an extreme place? It's extreme in so many ways. Like, I felt an earth tremor this morning when I was in bed. Well, all the windows were shaking a little bit. Did you guys feel that? It's extreme. The traffic's extreme. The waves are extreme. The trash is extreme. It just breeds extreme ideas. And I think that idea that he's got is just, it's going to change the world.
Oh, yeah.
But I just think, you guys have got way more experience than me. Do you think manufacturers go, but we've been using this petroleum-based stuff forever. How can we transition to that? Like, why aren't more manufacturers transitioning? Is it purely profit?
Yeah, I think that, when you look at big corporate machines, it's about the bottom line.
Yeah.
They have a hard time changing and adapting and accepting the reality that they need to change. And it's just look at oil versus electric. The oil industry is very well aware that we need, as a world, to go towards electric.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of money in greed. What can you say? Yeah. But we do have the faith that things are going to go in that better direction. That time will tell, and every step, every day, there's progress being made. Yeah,
for sure, man. Hey, how are we going for time? Do you have to go soon, Kyle? Because I know you got a meeting.
Yeah, I have a meeting at 1. Okay, we've got 15 minutes, so.
Okay, so you'll need some time to get there.
Yeah, it's right up the street, luckily.
Probably 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I just feel like we've talked a lot about Indosole, but I don't care. Like, it's fun. We're in the Indosole shop. And, again, I've always just been enchanted by the idea, like so many people. So what I want to just listen to a little bit is, like, I just want to get into your mind a little bit, Kyle, as the person you are. Like, how do you feel about being described as an entrepreneur? And how do you feel about being described as an environmental entrepreneur? Would you accept a title like that? No.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think being an environmentalist is an interesting term. That means a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I will admit I'm not a vegan.
Yeah.
I celebrate areas of environmentalism which are called to me or represent my background.
Yeah.
I'd like to think of myself, at this point, potentially a specialist in recycled goods or recycled fashion, as a niche that we focus on and try to stay in our lane.
Yeah.
But as an entrepreneur, I mean, for sure, I would accept that. I would accept that title because it's we've had to learn so much over this journey.
How was that mentality bred into you then? Was it something your parents encouraged as a kid to make your own way, create your own living?
Yeah, I think past experiences are what make us who we are, and take little bits of little pieces of life, and they all add up to something as you get older.
Yeah.
For me personally, there were a number of different life experiences that I feel shaped what gave me the idea for Indosole, or at least had me motivated towards it. Like, for starting with, I went to a private school. I threw a big party at my house when I was 16 years old. My parents were gone for the weekend. I just threw a rager. And it was super fun, but a bunch of stuff got broken in the house.
No.
My parents came home. They're like, you're going to prep school. We're shipping you away. I was like, okay, great. Sounds fun to me. So they sent me to this hippie school in the mountains in New Hampshire called Proctor Academy, and changed my life. It was one of the only schools at the time that was doing composting in the dining hall, that's solar energy, and actually teaching kids about environmentalism. And that was my first awakening, my first experience. I didn't know what composting was prior to that.
Mainstream schools don't do that.
Yeah, totally. And it changed the game for me. Then the next life experience, I worked during college. I worked at a recycling facility, worked at a dump, worked at the night shift, recycling plastics, recycling materials. Yeah.
Why?
And,
for some pocket money?
Yeah, one of my buddies in class, like, hey, what are you doing this summer? You want to live with me in Nantucket and work at the dump? I was like, well, that sounds weird. He's like, yeah, well, the job sucks, but guess what? You make $12 an hour, and they give you a free place to live for the summertime, which is gold in Nantucket. So I went for it. We worked from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. each day, so we go to the beach all day, and then we were up at night, shuffling plastics into bins, and it would be baled up into giant plastic bins and shipped off the island.
Dude.
So again, that awakened me. I never looked at a plastic bottle the same after that experience. Following summer, I got a job at a surf shop selling sandals. I was selling reef sandals all day long in the sandal section, and just sizing people up, sending them to the register, and I got to see, how much an accessory or, sandals would make for a retailer. So again, another experience, and you take those experiences and you put them all together, and Indosole comes out.
But then I think it takes a special human to have the courage to initiate. I think a lot of people have rad ideas, but it's the ones that actually take the plunge, And what would you two say to someone who is on the cusp of wanting to initiate a new idea but too scared? Maybe Kai can take this one. What would you say to him?
I would say go for it, because you gotta try. You gotta fail potentially before you succeed. That's so cliche, but it's really true, because you gotta learn. You might nail it too, and, maybe you'll nail it. But I would say keep your job, right, in the beginning, right, and and just do it as a hobby. Yeah, as a passion, before you go all in. Yeah. Build a plan, study.
But that means you'd have to work twice as hard, right?
Yeah, potentially. It'd have to be like kind of a weekend thing, or
But this is what successful people do.
If you really love it, though, it's not work. That's also very cliche, right? So
Dude, Carl was saying that before. Yeah,
you're kind of building the ability to do what you love. So you kind of have to but it's just a safer route, because you want to make sure that your income's still coming in. Or maybe how I ended up getting involved with Indosole was I just saved up money from my job, and then was able to leave it, and then join.
But that would have been scary, like all that money you saved and you.
Yeah, but I did that before in 2008, where I saved up 25 grand or whatever, and came over to Bali for 6 months and tried to figure out the next phase in life.
Yeah.
And so that's an option as well, right? You can keep your job and try to work on the side on what your passion is, or save up and take a good chunk of change and give it a solid go. But I would say go for it.
Isn't it? It's such a gift to even have a passion.
Right.
To find something that lights you up. I think a lot of people have trouble finding that.
Right.
When you find it, it's like it's gold.
Yeah,
it's better than money.
Run with it, yeah.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. Totally. I think we're both partial. We're all three partial to that.
Dude.
Yeah, you can't be afraid to fail. The other thing I would say I would just add to that is ask for help. A lot of people, we all have egos, we all have pride, and it's hard for people to ask for help. Like if you don't know something, going and trying to find the answer.
Yeah.
Indosole is so much about that. We didn't have all the answers. We didn't know how we're going to pull this thing together, and to ask people for help constantly. Still are.
Sick. And listen, I'm very conscious of time because I know you got to go. Yeah. But there's a few things I want to, sort of end on. Like I do ask all guests to come to the podcast with a cause that they want to support or advocate for. You did mention Sungai Watch. Is that an initiative you'd like to advocate for, or do you guys have something? Put you on the spot a little bit. I should have given you more warning, but I just forgot because I'm hopeless.
We're just joining 1% for the planet, so there's each color of our sandals will go to a different organization doing good to protect the elements of nature.
Like beetroot farmers?
Beetroot, that's actually a seasonal product, so that's a renewable product. So we're going to be supporting, protect our winters with this product.
Okay.
And so there's actually 7 organizations that we'll be working with through 1% for the planet. But since we're doing this podcast here in Bali, let's go for Sungai Watch.
Sungai Watch?
We'll be partnering with them on recycling their foam. So
great. So what we'll do is so get onto Sungai Watch's website, go and check them out, see how you can be involved, see if you can donate money. I'm sure they would accept that kind of stuff. But also, I'm very aware that they are looking for humans on site, humans to help out, get into those rivers and do something that's really making a difference and enriching, because they need people power, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, man. Good one, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, I think we're done, almost.
Well, we're almost done.
Listen, if you've got to run, we can end it up now. Or?
Yeah, it's all good. Thanks so much for having me, Shannon.
Dude.
Such a treat to meet you in person and to be a part of this, and thanks for all you do.
Thank you, sir.
You're the man.
If you want, we'll keep going. If you want to just put that, you can sit that
Peace
there.
out.
And you better run to your meeting. Just leave it on. There you go. Dude, later. Yes, Kyle. High five. We'll go knuckles. Yeah, I'll see you soon. We'll catch up for a coffee soon. It's just me and you now. Do you want to rap again? Go. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so we got the... what do you want me to rap about? It's name a topic.
Crowd's ready. Crowd's ready.
Yo, the ones. The ones and twos.
I'm just kidding. Are you a rapper at heart?
No. I mean, I moonlight as a freestylist.
Do you
really bad freestyle.
Do you really?
Yeah, I've got a chicken wing song. It's all about chicken wings, yeah.
How good are chicken wings?
Yeah, I am goring, you are boring, caught you snoring.
See, do you want to
change the flooring?
Do you want a beat for that?
I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready for that.
I think you're ready. No, I had a.
Let's try it.
I had a hip hop guy on. Go.
Yo, chicken wing, chicken thing. That's my thing. Chicken wings and all it brings. Chicken stop. Now drop. Shake it to the flow. I am goring, you are boring, cut you snoring, switch the flooring. I am Lalapan up in Babakan. I'm the one, get it done.
You done?
That's it.
Yes! I love it, man. I love it. Just kidding. No, that's rad, dude. Are we done here?
Well, I just want to welcome you to a new initiative that we are starting at Indosole, and we're picking out some people that we really admire and are inspired by, and will that inspire us to continue this journey and create responsible footwear. We're calling this the Good Human Project, and we would like we're asking you to be a good human.
Oh, dude.
And so we've got a postcard and a sticker for you, and
thank you.
Want to make sure that you always have our newest product available, and coming out with some new products. You've got our new product here, the burgundy, which you've labeled beetroot. We might need to change it to the beetroot.
Dude, you got to get me to your marketing meetings.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
And so yeah, we'd really love to highlight you and bring you into the community further. So,
man, thanks, bro.
Thanks for all you do for Indosole, and we're really happy to be a part of this podcast.
Likewise, man. Thank you, sir.
And thanks to everybody for continuing to listen to Shannon. He's got such an amazing voice and amazing mission and amazing people that he's associated with. So big thanks to all the listeners as well.
Thanks, man. Thanks for believing in me. Appreciate you, dude. I love you. Let's go get some lunch.
Sounds good.
All right. And a big shout out to photographer and new friend from Bali, Onok. Thanks, Onok. You're a legend. All right. Stay safe, everyone, and love from Bali. You.